Okay, here I have a window regulator, but the shaft is totally worn out. There are no teeth left. And here I have another one that I bought. I have no idea what this is off of, but it has a good shaft on it with good teeth. So the procedure here is that I'm going to remove this short gear out of here, cut it off. I'm going to remove this one, I'm going to cut it off, I'm going to weld the two together, and I'm going to make myself a new crank handle shaft. Doesn't feel very good on the inside either. It feels a bit like something's wrong with the spring on the inside, but we'll find that out once I get it opened. So there, I've removed the top mushroom section off of the rivets. That's in order to get this particular cover, or I don't know, drum out of there. Well, that's a different design. That's not the same design as the other one. Now, I've already done one of these, but I did not notice that this actually comes apart. I thought this was all one unit. So this is very interesting to see that this actually moves inside of there. So there's the spring that makes it so that your window doesn't go up and down if somebody pushes on it. Now it's clean enough so I can do some work. So I can start to make some measurements and do some cutting. Okay, just to be clear, so here I've got 1.530 inches, and that's the distance from the shoulder of that clutch area. You can see the 1.53 right out to the end of the pin. And there's my 1.0 inch measurement there. 1.0 inches to that shoulder. Looks pretty good. So that's the piece that I have to end up with. The only thing that's the same is the diameter of this shaft and the number of teeth on this shaft. Oh, look at that. Maybe even the spring if I need a spring. Anyway, so now my next step is to grind out these rivets, pop this cover off. Now you say, why don't you just replace the piece with the one out of the old regulator? Yeah, that would be good, but probably somebody would pay me a lot of money for that complete, good, working regulator, so I'm not going to ruin a good one. The issue is that the shafts are completely different. In the truck, this clutch unit is quite large compared to the size of the clutch unit in this older vehicle. And the teeth are different, so I can't use that. Oh, and it's also shorter by quite a bit. So all I need are the teeth off the end. After all the measurement is done, I need to cut just a little bit into this clutch pad. Probably the width of my cutting blade. Even luck of the grinder, it left a little piece there so you could see both halves. Note to self, wear your gloves next time, I forgot. So things were getting a little warm on the hands. Okay, so here's the piece I do want. Wonderful. There you can see the two pieces, so I've got to cut the shaft off. I don't want to cut it too short. I can always grind a little bit off the end if it's too long. The part that seems to be the important distance is this little groove here where the set screw goes down in and hangs on to the handle. So I need that to be pretty close to the exact spot. Here I have my two pieces. I've got my vernier set up for 1.53, and let's see how close I got. Yeah, 1.53 and a little bit longer length, which I think I was okay with. And let's set this to 1 inch, and that is not good. I'm off by, oh my, this distance from here to here is a little bit long, so I need to remove some of the length from one of those shafts. Otherwise, I think my handle will be sticking out into the vehicle a little too far. Now that's better than not far enough, because if it wasn't far enough, there's nothing I could do. But if it's too far, I can always put a couple of washers, or put a washer under each of the nuts that fasten the regulator into the door, if I had to. Okay, is it cold enough to touch? Yeah, not really. Okay, this one is. So now what I need to do is to grind this, so there's going to be a V in there that gives me room to weld. It's time now to weld these two pieces together. So I've got a bit of an angle ground off the end of each of the rods. That gives me some place to hopefully get some penetration down into the rod. I have a magnet in my vise, and on top of the magnet, the rod. So we'll see how badly it moves the first time I hit it with an arc. If I get lucky, the arc won't move it very far. Maybe. And we'll see how badly it lines up. I just want to put a little bit of a tack on the one side, then I'll check it for straightness and alignment, and then I'll tack it on the other side. I think we'll let that one cool a little bit, and then I'll clean it, and then I'll go back and weld it a second pass. Well, I got that all cleaned out, so now it's time to add some more weld. Okay, it's time for the final product today. This is the shaft that I made today. It ain't perfect, but you know what? It's going on my door because I'm the driver, and that's where it'll be. A couple of little spots there I guess I could weld up, but I run the risk of grinding poorly, so I think I'll just leave it the way it is. And that's the finished product. We've got two regulator shafts that will fit into the window crank handle, and I'm happy about that. Well, if you enjoyed the video, even if you didn't enjoy my welding, give it a thumbs up, I guess, or subscribe, and we'll see you in another one of my hacker videos trying to get my truck running this summer.